Hey you guys, I wanted to make you a little video so that you guys could remember smart objects and why we use them. So normally, before using smart objects, if you wanted to place or put an Illustrator file in, you would open it and you'd have to make this decision about how big you wanted the file, and it would open over here, and at this point this file is rasterized, it's not vector anymore. And then of course I can just go over here and drag my file in, and I can do what I want to it, just like any other layer. I can, start making it really small and start transforming it and doing all these things. But every time I do that, as you can see, the file is getting more and more deteriorated, and so that after a few times of transforming it, Command T, it's starting to look incredibly bad. And basically I need to now open this logo again, and because this looks terrible, right? The other way to do this is to create a smart object, and how you would do that is to not open it but place it instead. By placing the very same Illustrator logo, you see it doesn't really ask me about how big I want it, and it comes in, there's a bounding box so I can decide on how big I initially want it, but it doesn't matter, because if I was going to go ahead and start transforming this like I did before, you can see that as many times as I go ahead and do Command T and I make it small or big or whatever I do to it, you can see that it doesn't deteriorate at all because it's a smart object. So you can see there's quite a little bit of difference between what this looks like and what this looks like. So this is obviously a really good a way to place graphics in your layout. The other thing you can look at is over here. You can see the difference, that this is a normal layer, and then this is a smart object because it has this little bottom corner down here. So that's one way that you can make a smart object, is anytime you place anything, it's automatically a smart object. You can also, it doesn't matter what kind of file you place, so let's go ahead and place another type of file in here. This is a cupcake file. It's not an Illustrator file. You can see it's a JPEG. I can place it, same thing, and I can make it a little smaller initially. Okay, and then you can see that this is also a smart object. So if you look over here, you see that you have your little corner, which is awesome. Let's say that I didn't make a smart object and I went ahead and opened something, like I opened this, and it would open in another window over here. And let's say that I did it the way that you usually used to do it, just drag it over here. And so now I have a normal layer. You can see over here, this is not a smart object. It doesn't have the little corner. So is it too late to be a smart object? It's not. I can come over to the layer that I want to make a smart object. I can right click it, or I can control click it, and I can convert it to a smart object. You can see that now it has the little corners, and this will save it before I've done any transformations. At this point, if I go ahead and do the same thing, I start making it larger or smaller and transforming it, you can see that it's not deteriorating, because before I ever did anything to it, I went ahead and made it a smart object. So that's kind of cool. The other thing is that you can also make a smart object or place a smart object from a group of an object that has layers. So I'm going to go in here and find a Photoshop file, and you can see that this has, I'm going to go ahead and place it, and initially it's going to go in just like anything else. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and place that. So you can see that it's a smart object. It has this little corner graphic over here, but if I click this graphic and double click it, what's going to happen is it's going to open up all the layers for my smart object. And what I can do is I can turn off some layers, maybe. I can do anything that I want to. And when I close it, if I hit save, then whatever layer changes that I made in this smart object, it's going to be reflected in my layout. So you can see that that changed because it's a smart object. Also, a fantastic reason to use smart objects is because, just like I edited this picture here, let's say that I needed to edit my Illustrator logo. If I go down here and I double click on the corner, just like I did with my layered document. I can double click the corner, and what's going to happen is it's going to open up Illustrator, allow me to edit this logo, and then if I save it, it again will show the edited version in my layout. So I didn't actually, it makes things kind of easy. You can see it's opening Illustrator, and it's going to do that. The one other thing I wanted to say about smart objects is that, let's say that you have a project that has a ton of other layers, okay, and we're not going to actually do that. And let's say that you have another project that has a ton of layers, and none of them are actually smart objects. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and open up another file that just has a ton of layers to it. I'm going to go in here, and let's go here, and let's find a nice heavily layered project. So you can see that this is a project that I did, and you can see that all of these, I have tons of layers here. And what I can do after the fact, if I want to, is all of these layers right here, these top layers, these are all the light that's coming out of these lamp posts. What you can also do is you can shift click the layers that you want to make a layered smart object, and you can convert all of those layers into a smart object. Now what I'm going to have to do then is rerun the blending mode on that smart object, but you can also make after the fact a smart object of many layers. So I hope this is a good review of smart objects. You should use them. They're pretty awesome. Okay, see you later. Bye.